I think we were discussing about the various standard density and distribution functions. So far we considered the Gaussian density function and then uniform density function. So now we see the Rayleigh density function and its distribution. So let us take x, which is a continuous random variable, and its probability density function is denoted as fx of x. So for the Rayleigh random variable or the Rayleigh density function is defined as x upon sigma x whole square. Here the condition is the sigma x, which is the standard deviation of the random variable, must be greater than 0. This is e power minus 1 by 2 times x square divided by sigma x square u of x. So this is the definition of the Rayleigh probability density function. This is the probability density function of the random variable x, which is called as the Rayleigh probability density function. So here this x by sigma x square is multiplied with an exponential function that in turn multiplied with unit step function. So we already know that this u of x is 0 for x less than 0. So obviously this fx of x is 0 for x less than 0. And for x greater than 0, so it depends on the values that we have taken. If you observe this x is in the numerator, definitely as x is increasing, the function value will increase. Okay? But we have an exponentially decaying function, is it? Because here x is positive. Is it right? Because for x less than 0, this entire fx of x is 0 because it is multiplied with u of x. For x greater than or equivalent to 0, if you substitute different values of x, initially it will increase and then go on exponentially decrease. So here the Rayleigh density function is somewhat similar to the Gaussian density function. If you see the expression, it is somewhat similar, but in that case we have 1 divided by under root 2 pi sigma x square. Here we have x, and here also it is almost similar. That is, we can assume that mx is 0. In a Gaussian density function, if you substitute mx equivalent to 0, what we will get? E power minus 1 by 2 x square by sigma x. So therefore we can assume here mx is given as 0 and the sigma x is greater than 0. So this is the density function. So therefore the plot of the Rayleigh density function seems the plot of the Gaussian density function. But we already know that Gaussian density function is symmetric about the origin, that is symmetric about the mean value, is it? But here, is it symmetric? So this is not symmetric. That is the difference between the Rayleigh density function and this. And what is the application of this particular density function? In radar and sonar signal detections, radar signal analysis, sonar signal analysis, we widely used this particular function, which is termed as Rayleigh density. Similarly, in the missile targeting systems also. That is, in such applications, we encounter we need to define the various random variables. Okay? And such random variables can be characterized by this particular probability density. So that's why we are studying about this particular Rayleigh density. If you observe the unity, the uniform density function that we already studied, So that is especially used in the quantization techniques. In third year, you will study the digital communication, and you come to know what is the meaning of quantization. I think you already know it. I have studied signals. You are already studying the signals and systems. What is the difference between continuous time signal and a discrete time signal? That is, if you sample the continuous time signal, we get the discrete time signal. Now, what is the difference between discrete time signal and digital signal? We quantize the discrete time signal and encode it to obtain the digital signal. So, for that quantization, that is, while quantizing, what we do, we round up the values to the nearest value. So, if you round up the value to the nearest value, nearest level, what will happen? There is some error. So, that error is called as the quantization error. So, that quantization error can be modeled as a uniformly distributed random variable. So, normally that is denoted as some delta E, the quantization error. That delta E is a random variable, and that can be characterized as a uniform random variable. Why? Because that quantization error is uniformly distributed between two values, some A and B. So, in digital communication, in communication theory, we encounter the uniform random variable. Similarly, this one is used in the analysis of radar signals and in the radar detection, sonar detection. You might have heard about the sonar also. So, these are the various applications of the Rayleigh density and distribution. Of course, we have the density function, we can find the corresponding distribution, and probabilities can also be applied. The probability of x less than or equal to some value, the probability of x lying in between two different values. We see how the plot looks like. For that, we use a graphical representation of the density function. So, if you substitute 0, when x equivalent to 0, it is 0, is it? Now, when x equivalent to sigma x, what will you get? Initially it is 0 and it will increase to a particular value and then go on decreasing like this. So, it is exponentially decays, but up to this particular value sigma x, okay, it is increasing, and there onwards, that is for x greater than sigma x, it will decay. Actually, we have the bell shape in the case of Gaussian density function, and that is symmetric above mx, but here it is not symmetric. Initially it is increasing and go on decreasing exponentially for x greater than sigma x. What is the value of this? Is it right? Because e power minus 1 by 2 can be approximately written as 0.606, and so we are substituting x as sigma x. So, sigma x by sigma x square is it? So, this is the graphical representation of the Rayleigh density. Can you find the CDF? So, you take this as assignment for you. You work out and find. Can you find it? Because we know the relationship between the CDF and PDF. PDF is given, we can easily find the CDF. You try it. Can you do this? Okay. So, we can switch over to another density function. That is the exponential density and distribution functions. So, all these are the standard distribution and density functions, and the random variable is a continuous random, and there are lot many physical phenomenon in a lot many applications where we characterize the random variables that we encounter by any of these density or distribution functions that we study. Okay. One set one is this exponential density and distribution function. Again, let x is continuous. And if this fx of x is the density function, we write it as 1 upon mx. So here as mx is in the denominator, definitely it must be greater than 0. So that is, in case of Rayleigh density function, sigma x must be greater than 0. Here in mx must be greater than 0. This is e power minus x by mx. So this is a simple exponential function. Exponential function with magnitude 1 by mx. So here also it is 0 for x less than. Especially this particular density function is encountered in, for example, if you want to characterize the lifetime of a machine, let a random variable is defined in such a way that takes the values of the lifetime of a machine. So what will be the value that taken by the random variable? It may be 10 years, maybe 5 years, 1 year, or it may damage, or its life may end immediately after you buy it. That is, the lifetime of a particular machine may be very long or it may be very short. So therefore, the value that a particular random variable taken is depending on the machine that we construct. So if you want to model that particular random variable mathematically, we use the exponential density function. Why? Because normally the lifetime of the machine decays exponentially. Is it? Time to time it will decay. Of course, the lifetime of a human being is also decays exponentially. Take for example the population growth. The increase in population growth is also exponential. If you observe population, the census measures for last 10 years or last 100 years, then the rise is somewhat exponential, approximately. So in such applications, we use this density function or the random variables that we define in such applications possess this type of density function. So such random variables are called as exponential random variables or exponentially distributed random variables. And this is the corresponding density function, and you can easily plot this because you might have encountered the exponential, the one-sided exponential, two-sided exponential like this. So this is a one-sided exponential function. So this can be plotted as a function of x. So obviously it is 0 for x less than 0. When x equivalent to 0, its value is 1 by mx, and it go on decaying exponentially. So these two lines meet at infinity because e power minus infinity is 0. So this is the probability density function of the random variable that is distributed exponentially. Similarly, can you find this? You tell this value because you can easily integrate. But if you see the Rayleigh and the Gaussian density functions, we have e power minus x square. So we need to work out. But here it is very simple. How much? 1 minus? How you calculate it? because we know the relationship between these two functions. So one is known, another need to be obtained. Simply we have to integrate it. Is it right? So this can be 0 to x. 0 to x. Why? Because for x less than 0, this is 0. Fx, is it? For x less than 0, this is 0. Definitely fx of x is also, this value is 0 for x less than 0. Now we have to take the case for x greater than or equivalent to 0. For x greater than or equivalent to 0, we can write it as 0 to x fx of lambda d lambda. This is for x greater than or equivalent to 0. Obviously, from the given function, the CDF is 0 for x less than 0. Can you do it? Substitute this value here. 1 minus x by is it mx square or mx will be eliminated? Check it. Mx will be eliminated. No mx square. Do the integration correctly. Because we already have 1 by mx. Then mx, I think mx get cancelled. See, integral of e power minus ax is e power minus ax by a. Therefore, we can write it as fx of x is equivalent to this much. This is for x greater than or equivalent to 0 for x less than 0. See, when x is equivalent to infinity, when x is infinity, it is becoming 1. That is, it is reaching to the maximum value at 1, at infinity. Maximum value 1 at infinity. And what is the minimum value? 0. So therefore, the property is satisfied. Its value is lying between 0 and 1. And it is a non-decreasing function. It is positive function of x, non-decreasing function. And it is continuous from y. It's right continuous. If you plot this, how it will look like? I plot it. CDF. So for x less than 0, it is 0. So when x is increasing, it will increase. Go on increase like this. And come to a particular value 1 at infinity. Is it? So these two lines touch at infinity. So it is a non-decreasing function. We already discussed, for a continuous random variable, the CDF will be like this. And for a discrete random variable, the CDF will be like this, stair-step. So it is CDF for a continuous random variable, CDF for a discrete random. So here, the random variable that we considered is a continuous random variable. So all the properties are satisfied. You can check it easily. Okay, now we look at two more density functions, but here the random variable is a discrete random variable. So far we considered the density and distribution functions for the continuous random variable. Now we look at the density and distribution functions of a discrete random. So let x is a discrete random variable. And we performed an experiment in which the outcome may be success or failure. That is, in a particular sample space, we have two outcomes. The outcome may be success or maybe fail. So I think you might have heard about the Bernoulli trials. In Bernoulli trials, the sample space has only two elements, otherwise 1 or 0, on or off, otherwise this S may be or off. So let us assume this P is the probability of the success, which is lying in between 0 and 1. P indicates the probability, P is a value, the real, P is real. Then you can take Q, which is equivalent to 1 minus P, is the probability of the failure. Because we have only two chances, on or off. Just like the coin tossing experiment, we have only two possibilities, head or tail. So such type of experiments are, or such type of trials are the Bernoulli trials. So we encounter the discrete random variable in such sample spaces. Here the sample space is discrete. Definitely the random variable that is defined on the particular sample space is also discrete random variable. So here X is a discrete random variable, and if you let this fx of X is the density function, then for this particular random variable X, this can be written as K is equivalent to 0 to N. So Nk P power K Q power N minus K U of. See, we already discussed, in case of discrete random variable, the CDF is represented in terms of unit step function. PDF can be represented in terms of impulse function. Why? Because the derivative of CDF is the PDF. That is, the derivative of unit step is the impulse. Therefore, in case of the discrete random variable, the probability density function is represented in terms of the delta function. Delta of this is function of X. X minus, understood? Where this N is equivalent to 1, 2, 3, that is N may be 3, N may be 4, or N may be 5, N may be 100 also. That indicates the number of trials that we perform. For example, if N equivalent to 3, the number of trials that we perform of the Bernoulli experiment is 3, or it may be 100 or anywhere. So here this particular density function that we have written here is the binomial density. And the random variable is called as the binomial variable or binomial density function, or the binomial probability density. So which is defined for a discrete random. So why that name bi? Because in the experiment that we consider, there are only two possibilities, on or off, or success or failure. That's why the name binomial. Is it clear to you? So if the PDF is known, can we find the CDF? Just integrate it. Take the integration on both sides. So integral of fx of X is the CDF. So here also we are taking the integral. You can change the order of integration and summation. Then you can write it as 0 to, and this is Nk because all these are constants. They are independent of the variable of integration. That's why we brought them outside. In the integral, we have only this term delta of x minus k. Integral of delta of x minus k dx is the integral of delta function is step. No, this is delta of x minus k. Okay, that's not k minus 1. Yeah, that is right. Understood this? Have we got it? So therefore, always remember, when the random variable is discrete, its probability density function is represented in terms of unit or impulse function, and the density, that is distribution function, is represented in terms of step function. Now we try to plot these two functions. So for that purpose, we don't know the value of p and n. So let us assume p is equivalent to some 0.2 and n is equivalent to 3. P equivalent to 0.2, n equivalent to 3. First, we find the density, binomial density function, sigma k equivalent to 0 to n is given as 3 here, and we have nk, that is 3k. See, what is this nk? So n factorial this particular quantity is called as the binomial coefficient. That is called the binomial coefficient. So 3k, we have p power k. So what is p here? 0.2 power k and 0.8, 3 minus k, of delta. First expand it, then this will be equivalent to 0.30. 30 is 1. Is it right? 1 into 0.2, 0.8 power 3. Operate the calculator and give the expression for it first. That is, we can write fx of x is equivalent to something into delta of x. We tell what is that something? Delta of x plus something into delta of x minus 1 plus delta of x minus 2 plus delta of x minus. Come with the calculators. What is this value here? Point. You do one thing, you evaluate those values later. Okay? I am letting this as A1, this as A2, A3. You find all the A1, A2 values. Okay? Use the calculator and compute. Now can you plot this? This fx of x can be plotted as 0, 1, 2. So we have impulses at 0, 1, 2 and 3. Is it right? Delta of x minus 1, x minus 1, x. What is the magnitude of A1? 0.512. Therefore, draw an impulse whose strength is A1. Okay, A1 we already calculated. Next value A2.
And A3.
0.3. So less than this. Less than the A1 value. First one is point. This is A1. Second one is 0.3. Somewhere here. Next one. Point. Okay, almost. Next. Is it correct? How can you check whether it is correct or not? How can you verify whether the probability density function that you obtained is valid or not? How can you verify? See, the area under the probability density function must be equivalent to 1. Are you getting? Similarly, do one thing. You plot this. See, we know this. How can you plot this? You take the integral of this. Then what you will get? A1 u of x, A2 u of x minus 1, A3 u of x minus 2 plus A4 x, u of x minus 2. Then you can easily plot it. You try it. Plot that one also. So you will get A1 u of x, A2 u of x minus 1. So it should be a non-decreasing function. Is it right? Here it is 1. This value is 1. Are you able to follow? You try. See, we already calculated this fx of x. Okay. Just integrate it. Integrate, you will get the CDF. What is this value? 0.5. This one 0.8. Next. Finally, you will get. Similarly, we have one more density function for a discrete random variable that is called as Poisson density and distribution. So if x is a discrete random variable, then probability density function of this particular discrete random variable is defined as some 1 divided by v factorial sigma k equivalent to 0 to infinity e power minus b, that b is some constant, b is real constant and b is greater than 0. So this is one of the standard density functions which is termed as the Poisson density. 1 by b factorial k equivalent to 0 to infinity e power minus b u of x. Sorry, should be delta. Why? Because it's a density function. Always remember, in case of discrete random variable, the density function is represented in terms of impulse functions. Similarly, the corresponding distribution is, you will get the same value. Simply replace that delta by unit step. That is k. Why? Because if it is b, that is a constant, we can take it out. So here, the density and distribution functions plots are similar to that of, almost similar to that of the binomial distribution density. So we encounter this Poisson density and distribution function in many applications like queuing theory. We find such type of random variable, and that can be modeled by the density of distribution functions. Okay. Understood? So these are the six standard distribution functions of different random variables. Okay. Four for continuous random variable and two for the binomial. Of course, we have so many density and distribution functions like Laplacian density and distribution and student T. We have other also, okay, other density and distribution functions. But in our syllabus, we have Gaussian density, uniform, exponential, Rayleigh, and Poisson and binomial.